Embodied, web novel from the world of Isarix. Author, Dan Sophia. Sequence, 01. Zonal awakening. The twilight on the planet. Isarix was slowly retreating, and kyanite dust swirled above its cracked surface. No one should have been outside at this hour. The planet's energy surges, and the glare of its twin suns would mercilessly strip a person of their skin, and soon after, their life. At the edge of an artificially carved abyss, beneath a worn-out cloak scarred by ion radiation, sat a woman. One of her eyes glowed faintly, a small activated red cyber lens. The other remained motionless, a souvenir from a long-past exchange of views with a prototype assassination robo-diplomat. From beneath her cloak, she watched 3 not-so-brilliant errats far below, fumbling hopelessly with an extractor, a device meant to harvest the planet's pulsing energy, the most valuable resource for light years in every direction between Sector 9F and the Gregor 6 black hole. "Woof, you got it yet?" grunted the fattest of the errats, scratching behind his ears while hiding behind a giant toolbox. "Fuff, I'm starving, and those suns are gonna roast us alive any minute now, toolbox and all." "Quit whining and help, you fuffin' coward," snapped the second one, drenched in sweat and grime. He stood over the third errat, who was currently jamming a crowbar into the extractor. The extractor was gently pulsing, which, to any intelligent creature, would have been an obvious sign to not touch it. "You know, this one's the newest model, Iseron X9B. I don't mess with these. I usually just stuff 'em in a bag and vanish." "Ha ha ha!" The fat one burst into laughter, wheezing between chuckles. I knew. We're errats, right? The cleverest, sneakiest thieves in the whole belt." "Well, except for the Blatnik gang, but they've got, different methods," mumbled the third errat, and took a sip from a dented bottle of nerve tonic. The leader, the one who tried very hard to look wise, responded quickly. "Ha! Not just the cleverest. If we open this thing, we'll be the richest. Maybe they'll finally let us into the Central Guild, not just the sewer branch." And just as those words left his mouth, a faint click echoed. What's this little red button thingy?" mumbled the crowbar-wielding errat, stretching out a curious finger. Those were his final words. The explosion was so powerful, it felt as if the stabilizing layer of the planet's core had ruptured, releasing the system's raw energy. Its discharge turned the heart of the abyss to ash, leaving behind only a scorched, blackened handle of the crowbar. "Saw that coming," muttered the woman under her cloak as she adjusted her cyber lens for sharper vision. Another group of geniuses thinking Iseron would just leave its tech lying around for idiots to play with. She grumbled something about errats being a shadow of their former glory since they started drinking Cortex brew, when her system suddenly lit up. Neural augmentations flickered, first faintly, then intensely. Emergency detection, unidentified signal source. Class unknown. "Analyze," she whispered. Her systems hadn't activated like this in ages. The last time was during the raid on the satellite archive at Calrac, a mission that ended in an unintended genocidal disaster, wiping out nearly an entire planet overnight. She stood sharply. Dust spiraled. Her cloak expanded like the wings of a drone vulture, releasing a protective field that shimmered with black-violet light. Her body instinctively dropped into an offensive-defensive stance, a reflex encoded in soldiers during the clan wars. "What is it?" she murmured. Another broken teleporter heading this way. Or... She trailed off, eyes locked on the image her detectors displayed. In the distance, above the planet's barren horizon, her systems registered something that resembled a light anomaly. Flickers, like power outages. Not strong enough for the naked eye, but clear through her instruments. The systems scanned, measured, calculated, compared. But with every cycle, her interface rang out the same dull tone. Error, mismatch, unknown. The anomaly's power readings kept rising, yet its nature remained undefined. She waited motionlessly in the stance hardwired into her neural biocore from her EAR, Evolutionary Adaptive Response Modification, one granted only to those genetically tailored for elite missions. Enhanced sight, hyperflexibility, high endurance. But not all received the expanded energy field module, embedded in the ergonomic cloak synced to the nervous system. Only operatives of the elite unit were given that. This dark, narrow cloak with its hood, capable of shielding and cloaking its bearer, was their signature. EAR was their essence. No one truly remembers how it worked. The labs and their records were destroyed long ago. Those who possessed these gifts never shared their secrets, and now none of that matters. Only the war crimes remain. Emergency detection, class unrecognized, database incomplete. Maybe it's a ruptured atmospheric reaction triggered by the extractor's explosion, she thought. Those things have become increasingly unstable, with dwindling resources. Or someone is developing a new weapon, a new war. But her detectors would have read its makeup. They contained the patterns of every known particle and every cloned variant in this universe. Unless... Her thoughts slowed, uncertain, because now she saw it. The anomaly took shape. A luminous orb, surrounded by an electrostatic field that pulsed like a living organism. Its form hollow, its core swirling with energy unknown to Isurix. Unless it didn't belong to this dimension at all. That was the only explanation that made sense, and the only one that demanded action. She had been genetically engineered for one reason: to serve in the elite reconnaissance unit. Not just for assassinations, infiltration, and stealth. They were made for espionage, silent, lethal shadows. Despite her system's desperate attempts to hold her back, she moved. Ran a final distance calculation to the nearest safe point, a location where she could observe the object from the best possible angle while still maintaining relative safety. She knew the risk. Even now, the object was disrupting atmospheric stability. To complete the mission, she had to shut down her protection system. And she did. She was trained, programmed, and built for this. To face death head-on.
This was just a taste of the embodied story, and now it truly begins. If this world pulled you in, if you feel like you're part of something greater, don't let it end here. You can find the continuation of this audiobook on patreon.com. Just search for Embodied Book. There, new chapters, bonus scenes, and glimpses into the future of a story still being written await you. The story continues, the dimensions are opening, and your presence might decide where it all leads. Become part of the journey. Together we can take it further, much further, and most of all, discover what lies beyond the next chapter.